Welcome back. So right now we are working on page 550. So exercise 16B. Combining attributes and location queries. Location and attribute queries can be used together to solve a problem. For example, if you are doing emergency planning, you might want to select cities that have a population of 100,000 or greater, an attribute query, and that line within 10 miles of a major fault line, a location query. So we're going to select parcels that are zone residential, an attribute query, and that intersect the flood zone, a location query. So now we opened the map document from chapter 16 folder. This map shows the results of exercise system A through here, the Granville parcels that intersect the flood zone have been selected. If you accidentally clear this selection, we're going to repeat intersect selection. Here, we want to further fine-tune the selection so it includes only parcels that are zoomed residential. In this way, you will combine an attribute query and a location query. You complete the location query in the previous video. So now we're going to do the attribute query. Now we're going to go to the menu bar and selection and select by attributes. On the Select Attributes dialog box for layer, click the arrow and click Granville Parcels. For method, we're going to change the default setting, select from current selection. In the field list, double-click base zoning and add to the expression box, and we're going to click equal sign to add to the expression. To get unique values, we have to click this button, get unique values, and then the value for the base zoning field are listed. We're going to double click that. For residential. So here we double click residential in here, and then now we have the expression in our expression box, base zoning equals residential. The selection now indicates parcels that are within the flood zone and zoned as residences. So then we're going to hit apply. And now open the attribute table of Granville parcels. How many parcels are currently selected? It's 968. We're going to hit apply, hit OK. And Granville parcels, and we're going to go to open attribute table, and it's 968 out of 370. Next, we're going to save the selection as a new layer on the map. So on the table of contents, we're going to right-click on the Granville parcels, and we're going to click Selection Create Layer from Selected Features. To save the selection features permanently, we're going to export the selection to a new feature class. We're going to right-click the layer and click Data, Export Data. So I showed earlier. We're going to close the attribute table, and then we clear the current selection in terms of Granville parcels. And then in the table of contents, we're going to click the default polygon symbol for the new layer. And in the symbol sector, we're going to use hollow to fill no color. Right here you can see hollow and hit OK. Now we're going to put a red line. And we can zoom to layer. And zoom to Granville 2 bookmark and turn off the flat zone layer. And now you can see clearly the zone layer. So as expected that the downtown area is not included in the selection thanks to your work, the flat watch call list for artist residents can be created. So you can see those residential area are right here, and of course right here as well, and some part is here. Those are the residential area. Now we're going to save it and move on to chapter 17. So for chapter 17, we are learning to do joining and relating data. It has a lot of information about some theory and how we relate, and we're going to talk about in later series of videos. But now, for page 563, exercise A, we are going to do joining data by attribute. So we're going to introduce some theory and stuff at the beginning. We're going to talk about some more about tables and then ArcGIS desktop. So once tables are joined, you can use the appended attributes for the non-spatial table to symbolize label query and analyze the feature in a layer. So a table join is preserved only within a map document. The tables remain separate on disk and can be undone at any time. You can permanently append attributes by exporting a joint layer as a new feature class. So in this video, we are going to a freelance GIS analyst and a map maker. The Economic Research Service, ERS, an agency of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, has conducted a study to identify food deserts, which are low-income neighborhoods with high concentrations of people who are far from a grocery store. Economic Research Service has created a tool to identify food access statistics called Food Access Research Atlas, formerly called the Food Desert Locator. The Wisconsin State Legislature has asked you to create a series of maps that will present the map effectively. The maps you create will be used by a task force that is charged with making nutritious food more readily available in food deserts. The raw data set is in tabular form. To visualize the data on a map, you need to use GIS to join the tabular data to geographic information. That way, you aren't required to pursue a list of data to find the information you need. Rather, you can access a location and then quickly visualize the associated information. That is just what ERS did to share important information that pertains to location. ERS used ArcGIS software to create an interactive web map to serve both the public and government agencies. So in this video, I'm going to examine the Food Access Research Atlas. Then I will create the same type of map by joining a portion of the ERS raw data to a layer of Wisconsin census tracts. So first, we're going to examine the results of Food Desert Locator study. Open a web browser and we're going to go to the web browser. Okay, now we're going to type http://ers.gis USDA.gov/data products/food access research hyphen. Okay, now due to the dynamic nature of web, so the URL in step 1 may change. Yeah, it changes a lot. And we are going to look around overview and food, enter the map. Under overview, read about the atlas, and then we're going to enter the map, dismiss the tip, and use the navigation tools to pan and zoom around the map if you wish. So, now, do you live near, no thanks, do you live near, going to zoom in. Wait a little bit. Okay, now this is the web application that produced by Esri. Now we can look low income, low access. Wow, so in Jacksonville, yeah, there are a bunch of food desert area. It's really cool. And do you know anyone who is affected by limited access to grocery, especially fresh product? Well, I may. Let me see Manhattan, Kansas. That makes sense. Wow, for Riley. Has no data. That's really interesting. So now on the locator, click green square, scroll through the pop-up window and notice the information that is provided. You will see this data later in another form. And we can click that. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Above the map, we're going to click about the Atlas link, read the section title Overview and Measure of Food Access. How does low-income rural access tract so also qualify as a low-access tract? So a significant number of residents live further than 10 miles from a grocery store. So we're going to focus on the original food desert criteria, low income with a significant number of residents living further than 1 mile from a grocery store in urban environments or more than 10 miles from a grocery store in rural environments. So we will learn how to create a similar map using an ERS dataset limiting the study area of state of Wisconsin. Now we're going to close this web browser and start ArcMap, or I can just minimize it, chapter 17 and exercise 1A. So this map document contains U.S. states and Wisconsin census tracts.